Hi folks, welcome to game number 1 of the Horus Heresy game series from West Berks Gaming. Very excited for this, it's been a long time coming. Today we have 2,500 points of Word Bearers, which Will is taking control of today, going up against 2,500 points of Death Guard. This is the mat we're using. It's the Wasteland mat from Game Mat EU with their Gothic Ruins set and some craters and some other bits and pieces as well. We are playing the game Tide of Carnage, I believe it's called, number 5.
Tide of Carnage.
Yep. Okay, so that's the one where you get bonus victory points for securing different parts of the battlefield. So your own deployment zone, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
No Man's Land, you get 5 points, and the enemy deployment zone, you get 7 points. It's a bit of a drawback for me. I'm somewhat light in the troop department, but never mind. So we haven't rolled for the deployment type yet, and we haven't obviously deployed, but this is the board we're going to use. So some pretty big buildings in the middle, some line of sight blocking terrain coming into play as well, and it should be entertaining. We've decided we're not playing. Well, we've both gone for a fairly infantry heavy force.
Yeah.
Which is just going to be a bit different, and we're going to hopefully have some fun playing this, and we'll get considerably more Horus Heresy games up, I'm sure, once we start doing this. So let's take a look at the Word Bearers, and then we'll come back once we've seen the two armies and with deployment. Okay folks, here we have 2,500 points of Word Bearers. Will is taking control of them today, so hopefully he's not going to beat me with my own army.
Let's see.
But let's have a look and see what he's got. So we'll start with HQ.
Yep, so we've got Zodulak and his Blade Slaves.
Yep.
He's taken from Pyromancy.
Okay.
So he's got Force, obviously. And
Molten Beam.
I've chosen Molten Beam and Spontaneous Combustion.
And the Primaris, obviously.
And the Primaris as well, which I will get in a sec.
Use this little chap.
And then we've got a Centurion who's been upgraded to a Chaplain.
Cool.
He's got Melter Bombs, Artificer Armour, a Refractor Field, and then Nanite Blaster.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay, no worries.
I'm trying to fill points here.
Yeah, that's fine. And then are you running a right?
I'm running Pride of the Legion, so veterans and Terminators are the troops.
Wicked. Okay, so we've got a 10-man squad here.
10-man squad of veterans with the Marksman upgrade.
Sergeant.
Vexilla and Sergeant.
Yep.
Our Sergeant's got Artificer Armour.
Yep.
And Melter Bombs.
Okay, same again?
Same exact thing there.
Excellent.
And then, the support. I've got an 8-man plasma support squad.
Yep.
Which
struggling to focus on them for some reason. There we go.
So we've got Artificer Armour on the Sergeant, so I'll pick one.
Bionic Eye is the one I use him as.
And Melter Bombs.
Excellent.
We've got another support squad.
Yep.
Which is just 5 Melter. Sergeant, the same Melter Bombs and Artificer
Again,
Armour.
I just use that guy because he's got a different helmet.
Yep, that's fine by me.
Cool. Terminators.
They've got a mix of gear. They've all got combi plasmas.
Yep.
Except for the plasma blaster.
Yep.
And there's a mixture of power fists, a chain fist, and a lightning claw in there.
Cool. Did you take the grenade harness?
Took the grenade harness as well.
Yeah. So that one's the sergeant.
And then we've got another veteran squad, which is my melee veteran squad. So again,
they're using weapon masters.
Yeah, weapon masters. Artificer Armour on the sergeant, and they've got a Vexilla. But there's a mixture of power swords, power axes, and some lightning claws, and I think one power fist.
Yeah. Cool. So, fist on sergeant.
Yep.
Let's go elite. Start over here.
Okay, we've got the Gal Vorbak.
Yep.
5-man squad. The sergeant or the
Dark Martyr.
Dark Martyr. And my battle scribe's just frozen, which is great. Dark Martyr's got Artificer Armour, and I think Melter Bombs, and I've given him a power fist.
Excellent. Is he the flamey dude?
Yes, he will be.
Next.
Quad Mortars.
Yep.
I've bought the Shatter Shells for them.
Excellent.
I think that's all.
Okay.
And the Rapier Battery with the Laser Destroyers.
Yep.
That's it. And then Contemptor Mortis with dual carries, no missile launcher on top.
Okie dokie.
And then a Anvilus, is that what it's called? The Anvilus Dreadclaw.
Possibly.
Yeah, the Dreadclaw drop pod. Just to put something in either the Terminators or the Gal Vorbak, I think.
Wicked.
I think that's everything.
Okay, fantastic. 2,500 points of word bearers.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Running Pride of the Legion. Let's see what the Death Guard have got. Okay, folks, and here is 2,500 points of Death Guard. Again, running. Oh no, I'm running Primarch's Chosen. So that should give you a clue as to what might be in the army. Yes, so let's take a closer look at what we've got. So, Warlord and Primarch, obviously, Mortarion himself in the HQ because of Primarch's Chosen. We've also got a Centurion who's been upgraded to a Siegebreaker, Cataphractii armor, Combi Volkite, Thunderhammer, and 3 Phosphex bombs. Will's just very happy I haven't painted my quad mortars yet. Primus Medicae, Artificer armor, Refractor field, Melter bombs, Power Fist. Onto elites, we've got an Apothecarian detachment with 2 apothecaries, both with Artificer armor, Power sword, and Augury scanners. 1 Contemptor dreadnought with multi-melter and a graviton gun in his Power Fist. And a 5-man Death Shroud squad. Don't think I gave them melter bombs. Into troops, because we're running Primarch's Chosen, we get veterans as troops. So we've got a 3, 6, 9-man squad here, running Weapon Masters as their rule. Sergeant at the front, Artificer armor, Power Scythe. There are 2 Power Mauls in there, 1 Power Sword, and 1 Lightning Claw. And the rest just stock as they come. Second 10-man squad of, or a second squad of veterans rather, this time 10-man, running as marksmen. Got 2 heavy bolters with suspensor webs, Sergeant, Artificer armor, Power Scythe. Heavy support, we've got a 5-man squad of a 5-man heavy support squad with autocannons, Sergeant, this guy here, Augury scanner, Artificer armor. We've got a 5-man Grave Warden squad, 4 chain fists, heavy flamer with chem munitions, and the Sergeant here just has a Power Fist. And then we've got the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. He's mostly WYSIWYG. Unfortunately, I can't find the Volkite charges that are in there. But he's got the Siege Drill, the Grav Flux Bombard, Phosphex Dischargers, and he's got 2 Twin Link Volkite Calivers in the chest. So that is 2,500 points. Once we focus back in, of Death Guard. Very much looking forward to this game. It's the first time the Death Guard have been out. It's the first time I've gone up against my word bearers. We sort of had a bit of a gentleman's agreement that we were going to do it as few vehicles as possible.
Yeah,
so otherwise Will would have taken Serrated Sun and just drop podded all over my face.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll come back once we've worked out deployment. And yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, folks, we're back after deployment. We rolled the Search and Destroy deployment type. So you get a table quarter, but there's an 18-inch circle in the middle of the board where you're not allowed to deploy. So I won the roll-off to pick my side and deploy first, so I picked this corner over here. We've got the Weapon Master veterans in the building here with attached apothecary. We've got the Heavy Support Squad with the attached Siegebreaker in the building, Contemptor Dreadnought, Grave Warden Terminators, Leviathan, Mortarion the Death Shroud, and the Primus Medicae in a nice little blob in the middle. And my Marksman veterans with an apothecary are in reserve. They'll be out flanking later on. Will's counter deployment then.
Got the close combat veterans.
Sure, Weapon Master with the attached chaplain. Yep.
Yep. The Contemptor Mortis there. So I do like, and the blade saves are here. in front of them is the Galvorback.
Excellent.
Then we've got the Melter Squad here, and the Plasma Squad hanging back here.
Brilliant.
And the Laser Destroyers and the Quad Mortars.
Excellent. And your marksmen are in reserve as well?
And my 2 squads of marksmen are in reserve, as well as my Terminators in the Dreadclaw.
Cool. Are they outflanking as well?
Yeah.
Wicked. Okay, so currently, because of the mission, I deployed first, so I am going first. Will is going to try and seize, I'm sure.
Really, really want to seize.
Right in the centre.
Right
Why
in
not?
the centre.
Yeah. That's not going to be a
Not what I wanted.
there. Warlord trait-wise, Mortarion rolled Cause Fear, which is really useful because he causes fear already, and Zardu Layak's Warlord trait is useless because we haven't got any Ashen Circle.
Yeah.
So, 5-turn game. Control the victory points, or get the victory points at the end, depending on which areas of the table we control. Your own deployment zone is worth 3.
Yeah.
No Man's Land, which will be that corner and this corner, obviously on the circle in the centre, are worth 5 if you've got more scoring units. If you've got scoring units in them and the enemy doesn't, and the enemy's deployment zone is worth 7. It is night fighting, so yeah, I've got first turn. Let's see what the Death Guard can do. Turn 1 coming up. Okay, so that's the end of the movement phase in turn 1 for the Death Guard. These guys just shuffled forwards a little bit, so they're now within the 24 inches, holding on to this deployment, board corner. I managed to mess up the deployment of my heavy support squad and put my Terminator guy at the back, so he's just moved forwards to the front, so he's now going to tank for them. Contemptors move forwards, Grave Wardens have moved forwards, Leviathan got a crappy move through cover roll, so he's only moved a couple of inches. Death Shroud and Primus Medicae have moved up. Mortarion is split off from them, so he's going to Shadow of the Reaper over there, which gives him a charge into the Plasma Squad over there. Which would be nice. So, Psychic phase, I don't have one. And so let's get on to the shooting phase for the Death Guard, turn 1. Alright, so that's the end of the shooting phase in turn 1 for the Death Guard. Will doesn't like me very much.
No, not really.
It was fairly effective, although the Grave Wardens didn't really do all that much, but we'll come to that in a second. The Heavy Support Squad with their autocannons destroyed the Contemptor. Not even thanks to Tank Hunter, actually. I didn't need the Tank Hunter that the Siegebreaker gave me.
4 pens and...
Yeah. The Veterans didn't do anything, they didn't move. The Contemptor... I could have fired his Graviton gun. Fired his Multi-Melter at the Veteran Squad over here. Did a wound. The Chaplain looked outside onto some random dude and he died. The Grave Wardens here fired at the Galvorback with the Toxin rounds. So that was 8 small blasts. I did 14 wounds.
You did?
No, 14 hits, 9 wounds. And Will tanked them all on his Dark Martyr apart from 1 which went through. These guys ran.
Mighty.
Yeah. The Contemptor fired his Grav Flux Bombard at the Melters, but it scattered backwards and killed 3 of the Plasma Squad. And then the Volkite Calivers did nothing against the Melter Squad. Mortarion used Shadow of the Reaper to zoom 2 inches away from the Melter Squad, so he's going to charge them now. And that'll be the end. Yeah, that's the end of the shooting phase, so we'll move on to the assault phase. It's only Mortarion going in over there. So we will do that. Will's got Overwatch, and then we'll resolve that and come back at the end of the phase. Okay, so that is the end of the assault phase and the end of turn 1 for the Death Guard. Mortarion killed the Melter Squad, perhaps unsurprisingly. And then he's just consolidated backwards to make it easier for him to rejoin the Death Shroud if I want to in the next turn. Will is going to be having his first turn now with the Word Bearers. He has his drop pod coming in. The Dreadclaw is coming down. And let's see what he can do to punch me back a bit.
Hopefully something.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be able to do something. So let's go on to Word Bearers turn 1 now.
You sure? No, you can have it.
That's fine, that's fine.
You sure?
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Totally sure.
Yep.
Actually, there's 2 left.
That was Will arguing about who's getting the last biscuit. I'm going to keep that in just because I
Yeah,
can.
good. Right.
So this is the end of the movement phase, turn 1 for the word bearers. So what did you do, Mr. Gates?
Drop pod came in,
Yep.
and the Terminators disembarked.
Okie dokie. Looks like they're going after the Grave Wardens.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
fear for my Grave Wardens,
Yep.
which aren't focusing for some reason. Yeah, focus on them. Oh, there we go. Grave Wardens with the Terminators behind.
The Galvorback
Yep.
moved up,
Okie dokie.
ready to possibly charge.
Yep.
Plasma moved up, ready to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Zadu Light moved
Yep.
up a little bit,
Okay.
as did the melee.
Oh,
veterans.
sorry, there's a massive cloud of smoke there, Welsh. What happened to that? Why is that not there? So yeah, the veterans just moved up. Okay, cool. And obviously these guys stayed where they were.
Yes, they did.
Excellent. Psychic phase for the word bearers coming up now. Okay. All right then. That's the end of the psychic phase. Will only rolled a 2, so he only had 4 power dice. He tried to cast spontaneous combustion at my Primus Medicae in there.
Got it with 2.
Got it on 2 charges. There's his dice down there. And what did I deny with? One of them. And one of them. So that didn't go off, which is great. So it's now, well, great for me, obviously. So it's now the shooting phase in turn 1 for the word bearers. I think he might do a bit more damage than he did with his psychic phase there.
I couldn't really do less.
Well, no, that's true. Oh yeah, you could. Gets hot. You could kill yourself.
I could kill myself, that's true.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. Shooting phase turn 1 for the word bearers.
That is all my shooting.
Okay, so that's the end of the shooting phase in turn 1 for the word bearers. All we can really say is was better than the psychic phase.
Better than my psychic phase.
What happened? The laser destroyers, Will, what did they do?
They shot at the Leviathan that was there,
Yeah.
destroyed it,
Yeah.
exploded it,
Yep.
did an 8-inch explosion, 35, got everything,
Yeah, covered all of these guys down here.
killed one of my Terminators
Yep.
and one of your Grave Wardens.
Yep, didn't hurt the
Didn't hurt the
Death Shroud. What did the Terminators do?
They fired at the Death Shroud, did a wound,
Yep, they did indeed.
and then fired the Nanite Blaster from the Chaplain
Yep.
onto the Grave Wardens.
Yep, that made my
didn't do anything.
invulnerable save.
Yep, and then there was just Bolter Fire, Plasma Fire
Yep,
at Mortarion.
yep.
Which
What did the Quad Mortars do?
Quad Mortars fired Shatter Shells to hopefully get rid of the 2 wound and fill the pain on them, but he made
Too many
saves.
armor saves.
And that was
And that was it. So assault phase.
Yes. Galvorback are going to be going into Mortarion.
Okie dokie. I have 1 Overwatch shot, and then we'll come back at the end of the assault phase.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the end of the assault phase. I missed on Overwatch using the lantern, and Will then rolled a 3 for his charge.
Yeah.
Quite unfortunately. I've got 1 squad of... Well, that's the end of turn 1, basically.
Yeah.
I've got 1 squad of veterans outflanking, so let's see if they come on. They do! So now we need to work out where they're going to come on from, so we'll get them done, we'll do the movement phase, and we'll come back at the end of that. Righty-ho, that's the end of turn 2 movement for the Death Guard, and I'm starting to feel like a bit of an arsehole. Will is being far too pleasant and telling me that whatever I want to do is fine, so if I just destroy his army in a turn, he doesn't mind too much. Mostly because it's my army and he doesn't care if they lose or not. He's not really very involved, not got much involvement with them.
No.
The sniper vets came on over there, all in range of this veteran squad. The Grave Wardens have shimmied around a bit, so the Heavy Flamer's covering everybody now, and then they're going to charge the Terminators, assuming I can make that charge. The Death Shroud have moved forwards, so shooting phase I've got 3 Hand Flamer templates that can cover these guys, and then we'll charge them. Mortarion's coming after the Plasma Squad. I was tempted to come after the Rapiers, but that's where I started feeling like a bit of an arsehole.
Yep.
It took me a very long time, actually, to work out what to do with Mortarion. It's probably been stood here.
Primates are hard to use.
They're hard to use without being a dick, I think is what we've come to. Unless you're up against another Primarch, so you don't feel bad when yours does stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah, it took me about 10 minutes to work out whether I was going to charge the Warlord, or Galvor back, or these guys, or even potentially throw a Phosphex bomb at them, or even go and charge the vets over there. But in the end, I decided I was going to charge the Tactical Support Squad, kill them, because that then secures me this corner of the board for the time being, because currently they're stopping me from scoring it with my veterans over there. So yes, we've done that. We'll move on to the shooting phase now, and we will see what happens.
Yes.
Okie dokie, that is the end of turn 2 shooting for the Death Guard. The autocannons from the heavy support squad put 2 wounds on Zardulaiak's squad. Both went on that front blade slave. The heavy flamer here killed the sergeant of the Terminator squad. The crack grenades then did nothing. The Dreadclaw jinked the multi-melter shot. The veteran tacticals over here fired at these veterans, killed 3.
3, yeah.
So is that a leadership test?
Yes, it is.
Yep, so we'll do that in a sec. The Death Shroud fired 4 hand flamers at the Galvor back. One of them, which unhappily was the one that was already wounded, got hot, failed his armor save, and then failed his feel no pain. So I rolled 3 1s in a row. So he died. And then I did no wounds with the hand flamers there. But the other thing that happened was Mortarion threw a Phosphex bomb at the plasma squad, killed 4 of them. And then Will passed his leadership test. So he's got 1 leadership test here to do.
Yep.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine, doesn't need his 3rd dice. And we've got a load of charges to declare.
Yes.
So the Dreadnought's going into the Dreadclaw. That was too complicated.
Yes, indeed.
Terminators going into the Terminators. Sorry, Grave Wardens into the Terminators. Death Shroud into the Galvor back. And Mortarion into that last remaining plasma guy.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Okay, so successful charges all round. Mortarion made it into the plasma guy. The Death Shroud in the centre made it into the Galvor back. No damage on Overwatch from their bolters. Here, however, one of my Grave Wardens died to Overwatch. But I made it into combat, and the Dreadnought made it into the Dreadclaw. So we'll resolve these, and we'll come back to you at the end. Okay, so that's the end of the assault phase in turn 2 for the Death Guard. I'm going to say, didn't go exactly to plan.
As great as...
Not
I was worried
really,
it might
no. The Dreadnought killed the Dreadclaw, even. 2 immobilised results, so stripped off all its hull points. The Grave Wardens charged in, did nothing, so actually we need to consolidate these guys around at the end of combat. Didn't do any wounds, and then 2 of them died in return, which was a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
So the sergeant's left, but he passed his leadership test. Yeah. So I charged my Death Shroud into the Galvor back. Killed 2 of them,
Yes.
and put a wound on another.
Yeah.
And he then killed 2 of my Death Shroud back, which wasn't very nice of him, I thought. But we're locked up because he passed his leadership test. And Mortarion unsurprisingly killed that last support guy over there. So I get the impression he's probably about to get 2 rapier batteries to the face.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly.
Yes, Will's got 2 reserve rolls to make for his 2 marksman squads, outflanking veterans. So let's see what happens. They're both identical, so he's rolling at the same time. One on, one off. So we'll come back at the end of the movement phase for the word bearers in turn 2. Alright, so that's the end of the movement phase on turn 2 for the word bearers. So Will, what have you done? Let's start on the left hand side.
So they've, well, Zardulaik and the Blade Slaves have moved towards Mortarion. They're going to give him a bit of a charge.
Okay.
See what they can do. Les Vindicates have just shuffled to get some view on the Dreadnought.
Just behind there, yep.
Quad Mortars are going after your veteran squad.
Veterans in the
there.
corner, that's not fair.
My veteran squad is going to come in and charge the rest of the Death Shroud and hopefully finish them off.
Okay, that'll be an interesting fight, I think.
And then my
And these cheeky
veteran
little
squad
sods.
have come up behind the
Yeah.
autocannon guys
Yeah.
and I'm going to get some payback for you. Destroying my Dreadnought.
Okay, seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so psychic phase now.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Hope it's better than
Alright, so that's the end of the psychic phase. Zardulaik cast Molten Beam at Mortarion. I failed to dispel it. Will got it on at perils. Lost a wound.
Yep.
And lost the power. And then wounded me, but I made my invulnerable save.
Yeah.
Which
Great psychic phase.
yeah, not ideal. So we'll go on to the shooting phase now. So you've got 2 plasma pistols, which might do a wound or 2, and all your other bits and pieces scattered around. Cool. So let's do that. We'll come back again in my assault phase. Right. Okay. So that's the shooting phase done for the word bearers in turn 2.
Okay.
That was significantly better than anything you've done in the game so far.
Yes, it was.
Let's start here. What did the veterans
So
do?
the veterans fired at the autocannon dudes.
Yep.
Killed the siege breaker.
Yep.
And then 3
Yep.
autocannon dudes.
Yep. So I've got the sergeant up top and one other guy. Passed my leadership test though. Importantly, Dreadnought.
He got shot out by the laser vindicators.
Yep. Those 2 over there.
1 hit, and it
Penned, but I made mine
save.
vulnerable, didn't I?
And then the quad mortar.
They're flying over.
Zadulak
Yeah.
did 2 wounds. Well, the blade slaves
did
2 wounds.
Yeah, to Mortarian, so he's down to 5. And then those shitty little bastardy things over there. I can't complain because I use them as well.
25 hits.
Yeah.
You didn't
25
die
hits.
that many.
You only killed 4.
Yeah.
But then I failed my leadership test, and because of the way the deployment works, this is my board edge, and I ran away. So, so that was great.
It was successful.
Yeah.
And now we've got some charges.
Now we've got assault phase. So we've got these guys going into the Death Shroud.
Yes.
And the Blade Slaves going into Mortarian. So we've got an Overwatch over there, and then we'll do the charges come back after the assault phase.
Yep.
We've only scoring units left. Right, that is the end of turn 2 for the word bearers, and that's the end of turn 2.
Yep. Yeah.
So the Terminators here killed the last Grave Warden and consolidated around this way a bit.
Yep.
Combat over here. It was interesting.
Right. It was, yeah.
You put a wound on the Death Shroud and killed the Primus Medicae.
Yes.
I killed 2 of the veterans.
2 of the veterans.
And then I passed my leadership test.
And passed leadership.
So we're locked up in the middle.
Yep.
And over here,
I did a lot of. I got
you had a lot of hits. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. Which were saved.
Yeah. And then I killed both Blade Slaves.
I don't
Mortarian.
think you've passed so many invulnerable saves from Mortarian.
It's been pretty crazy actually.
But at least he's locked up for your turn.
This is true. Yeah. Maybe. I need to check the rule for Reaper thing. Shadow of the Reaper. So we'll check that. I've got no more reserves to come on, so I've got 2 heavy support guys who are not scoring. I've got a Dreadnought who's not scoring. I've got a squad of veterans who are scoring. I've got 2 Death Shroud who are also scoring.
For now.
And Will's got the veterans who score, the Terminators who score, the veterans who score, and another squad of veterans to come on. I'm pretty convinced I've lost this game, but we'll see what happens and see if I can bring it back. Turn 3, Death Guard coming up now. You're glad that I'm sad. That's not very nice.
I know.
Okay, so that's the end of my movement phase.
What move?
My Dreadnought turned around.
That's about it.
That is it. That is literally it. The veterans have stayed there because they're holding on to my deployment zone, which cancels out his veterans being there.
Yeah.
And they're also holding that corner at the same time, and he hasn't got anything in that corner yet. Mortarian's locked up. The Death Shroud are locked up, so literally the only thing I could do, and I didn't want to move my autocannons because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to shoot. So literally the only thing that happened was he turned around. So we'll get into the shooting phase. It's going to be a short one.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a sec. Alright, so that's the end of turn 3 shooting phase for the Death Guard. Cheeky shot, 3 bolters through this window. All missed. Trying to just ping off a wound there. These 2 guys killed 2 of the veterans, and the Dreadnought fired a multi-melter into the Terminators and killed 1. The one with the Plasma Blaster was the closest, so he died. Will owes me a leadership test for them, which he'll do when he comes back. Everybody else is locked up, so once we've checked the leadership test, we're going to go into the assault phase. He will be charging the Terminators, and we've got the 2 ongoing combats in the middle. So we'll be back after the assault phase. Okay, I can live with that. It wasn't too bad. The Death Shroud died, but killed another 2 of the veterans, which makes that unit very, very manageable now, but is still a threat for being scoring. Mortarion, unsurprisingly, killed Zardulayak, but having said that, it was only just. Will made 2 out of his 3 leadership tests, 2 out of his 3 vulnerable saves. The Dreadnought killed the 2 Terminators before they had a chance to swing at me, consolidated 6 inches, so he's going after these tacticals. And that's that. That's the end of my turn 3. So you've got a squad of marksmen.
Yep.
Are they coming on?
Please.
Yes, they are. Okay, so movement phase, turn 3, word bearers coming up now. Right then, movement phase, turn 3 for the word bearers is done. Marksman came on here.
Yep, they did.
The other ones?
Those ones moved around. There's a few in rear, a few inside.
Yep.
But they're just going to
Just going for weight of rending numbers.
Yep.
Is the hope. What happened here?
They
just
ran
running away from Mortarion.
Yeah.
Thought that might be the case.
Exactly.
Laser destroyers are going to shoot Mortarion,
Yes,
I think.
they are.
And the quad mortars, what are you doing with them? You did have a couple of options.
I'm either going to fire loads of the chatter shells at Mortarion and hope for 2s.
Yep.
Or just barrage the hell out of
Those
that
chaps at
squad
the back.
in there.
Right, okay.
Plan.
Yeah. So you haven't got psychic phase anymore, have you?
Nope.
Okay, so so that's Slay the Warlords for me, and I got. I don't know if First Blood's in play actually in this game, but we'll see. Anyway, that is going to shooting phase, turn 3 for the word bearers now.
Yep. Bugger.
End of the shooting phase, turn 3 for the word bearers. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show you that die. So anyone that remembers, that was a 5 a few minutes ago. 2 wounds caused by the rapiers.
Yep.
1 wound caused? No wounds caused by the quad mortars. Will decided to sunder shell me in the face, or shatter shells, or whatever the hell they're called, in the face with them, but didn't do any wounds. And then a bolter from one of these 2 squads, I can't remember which one it was, did the other wound. So he's down to 2. And then, what happened then, Will?
All the firing from the sniper veterans shot at the Dreadnought, hoping for 6s, and nothing.
Yeah, didn't do any hull points. So that squad's screwed.
Yes.
And so somebody else, once Mortarion turns around and comes back this way.
Yes.
So turn 4, coming towards the end game now, it's starting to get a bit more tactical.
Yeah.
Turn 4 coming up now for the Death Guard. Right, my turns are getting quicker and quicker. The veterans didn't move. I almost moved them out to get some shots in at these guys over here, but decided it's probably safer to stay away from the quad mortars. So they are holding both of these points. So that is points for me if I can clear these guys out.
Yep.
So the Dreadnought has turned around, going to go in there, hopefully take out most of those veterans, again with a bit of shooting and stuff as well. Mortarion has turned around and is going to come after this scoring unit here, so he should easily be able to take them, get rid of them. Then I need to hide from those rapiers, or make both of my It Will Not Die rolls, or rather make my It Will Not Die roll. So that's that. We'll go on to the shooting phase and we'll be back in a sec. Alright, so that's the end of the shooting phase. The heavy support squad killed 2 of this veteran unit. The Dreadnought fired its graviton gun into these guys, killed 2.
Yes.
And the multi-melter killed another one.
No, the graviton killed 1.
And the multi-melter killed the other one. So actually you owe me a leadership test there. Yeah. Okay. And then bolters from here fired in at this squad through the windows. Sergeant tanked a wound, unfortunately. So Mortarion, again, took me a little while to work out what I was going to do. He's going to charge into the Galvor back because I don't want them charging me because then they get a bajillion attacks.
Yeah.
But this way I might be able to kill them.
Yes.
Maybe. Although I only have got 2 wounds left. So, yep, we'll get Overwatch resolved, we'll get that charge done, and then we'll come back at the end of the assault phase. Alright then, so that's the end of the assault phase. Turn 4 for the Death Guard. Combat down here. I killed 2.
Yep.
Will can't hurt me.
Yep.
Because he's armor 13 on the front and he doesn't have melter bombs on the Sergeant. Mortarion, you'll see he's now down to 1 wound. Went in against the Galvor back. Will did 3 rending hits to me. I passed 2 of my invulnerable saves but failed the other one. I've now got my It Will Not Die. Oh, and then I killed all 3 of them in return. 6 hits, 6 wounds.
No sense.
Will failed too many of his saves. And yeah, so now I've got It Will Not Die.
4.
That's a 4, but he gets to re-roll it because he's Mortarion. Oh dear, right, Mortarion's going to die now. Unless I get very, very lucky. So that is turn 4 over for the Death Guard. We'll move on to turn 4 for the Word Bearers. You haven't got any more to come in, have you?
No, but the only thing I just realised is that I can do our weapons are useless against the Dreadnought.
You can?
To run away.
I can chase you.
I know you can chase me, but...
Yeah?
Might... What's your initiative for?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm at -1 though. Because I think Dreadnoughts have Legion Astartes rule.
Ah, okay. Do you want to check that and then we'll...
Yeah. Okay, so Contemptor doesn't have Legion Astartes rule, so he wouldn't be at -1, which means it would be a straight roll-off. Will decided to stay in combat there, keep me locked up for another turn. So turn 4, Word Bearers coming on now. No more reserves to come on.
Nope.
We've still got 3 scoring units on the table for Will. Although these ones might not be here at the end of the turn when my Dreadnought hopefully kills them all. These ones I'm going to struggle with. I don't know what to do about those guys. And that squad in the middle. I was hoping that Mortarion would be on more than just 1 wound left. But there's still a full squad there. So maybe we can at least pull off a draw. Because at the moment I got Slay the Warlord. And Will's got more units left than I do. So those 2 rules cancel each other out. Or those 2 points cancel each other out. But yeah.
We'll see.
Ooh, turn 4 Word Bearers, let's go on with it. Okay, Will's movement phase, turn 4 Word Bearers. What have you done? What have these guys done?
Those guys move through cover.
Yep.
Because the Nanite Blaster on him can see a few guys through there. So.
Oh, lovely. Let's hope I can get a cover save off that building.
Yep. And they've just moved up to shoot at Mortarion should it be necessary.
I forgot about the snipers. He is very dead this turn.
Bang, bang, bang.
So shooting phase, turn 4 Word Bearers coming up now. I've run out of words. I'm very sad.
Are you recording?
I am recording.
I'm very sorry.
I'm very sad. It's fair enough. He killed 90% of your army so far.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, so Mortarion died. He got 2 Rapier laser destroyers to the face.
It's not a bad way to go.
It's not a bad way to go. He passed his first armor save.
Yeah.
Invulnerable save. Then he failed his second one. I was almost cried. These guys fired at the veteran squad in there and didn't do anything. The frag shells from the quad mortars fired in there. 14 hits, I think.
Hits.
Killed 2 guys. These guys here then fired up at the heavy support squad. In there,
precision shots and a lot of Wrens.
A lot of precision shots and a lot of Wrens. Only killed the 1 guy there. So the sergeant's on his own, but he passed his leadership test. So we've got combat here, and that's the only one we've got this turn. So we'll resolve this and we'll come back to you at the end of turn 4. Who's going to win?
No, me neither.
Okay, that's changed things quite dramatically. I might actually be able to win this now. So the Dreadnought down here killed 3 in combat. William failed his leadership test. He opted to leave the Vexilla alive so he could re-roll his leadership test. Failed it both times. I caught him and have consolidated this way, which means I can hopefully
kill some in the charge.
Hopefully kill some with shooting, charge them, maybe wipe them out completely, which would stop that being a scoring unit. It's a tough call because there's a lot of them and I've only got 4 attacks, but that's what I'm planning to do. Equally, I can shoot them with the last remaining autocannon, which might strip off a couple of them. Next, we've got my veteran squad. Sorry, I beg your pardon. That's the end of turn 4. We're moving into turn 5, last turn of the game.
Yes, we are.
So, we've heard what I'm going to do with my Dreadnought. We've heard what I'm going to do with the autocannon. We've got this squad down here. My plan now is to move through cover, out, shoot them with pistols, charge them, kill them, consolidate to behind the building so the quad mortars can't see me, and I'm holding both of these points, and then hope that Will can't see me with anything. Because if he kills this unit, it Will's won because he just killed my Primarch. So, turn 5, Death Guard coming up now. Alright, so that didn't go entirely according to plan. The Dreadnought's fine. He's going to Graviton and Multi-Melta that squad of veterans. The autocannon is also going to shoot those guys, just to try and whittle their number down a bit to make it more likely that he can charge and kill them all in combat. Yeah. And then, disappointingly, only got 3-inch move through cover here, which makes that a hell of a long charge, taking into account the 2 inches. I can shoot pistols, but that's going to make my charge even longer.
If you kill someone.
But I have to shoot pistols because otherwise I'm not going to be able to touch them.
Yeah.
So we'll go into the shooting phase and we'll see what we can do to whittle down these numbers a little bit. Unfortunately. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase.
Not bad.
All right.
You killed the sergeant.
I killed the sergeant over here with the artificer armor and the power fist.
Yeah.
Which means that might make that charge slightly safer. It's still very far, but I now don't have a power fist to worry about. The autocannon killed the Vexilla down here, nice. So Will doesn't have any rerolls. The Graviton gun and that didn't do anything, but the Multi-Melta killed one guy. So that's a leadership test, actually. Thinking about it on those two. He's fine. Okay, so we've got a charge here, which means Will's got some Overwatch. We've also got a charge here. This is the critical one. Where Will's got Overwatch as well. So we'll resolve all of that, see if we can get the charges done, and then we'll come back to you. Yep. Okay, so that is the end of turn 5 for the Death Guard. Will's got a turn. He has won the game. So I don't know if he wants to use his turn, or you can just talk about it now where you would move stuff.
I would probably,
because if you move that veteran squad into that corner there, you score 5 points.
Yeah,
you've got 5 points here.
Yeah.
I've got 3 points for my deployment zone and Slay the Warlord, so I'm on 4.
And I've got more units.
You're on 10 plus Warlord, plus having more units than me, plus D3 for the price of failure. And actually, given that it's the Primarch's chosen right of war, yeah, would you mind taking that? Because I think with the Primarch's chosen, you might actually even get some more.
Oh, really?
For doing the Primarch. In addition to the price of failure, if the Primarch is slain...
What?
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah?
In your turn, can I suggest you do this instead?
Why?
Because they're not scoring anymore.
Oh!
Because the Primarch's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Will got 9 points, I believe it is.
Yeah.
For... 7 points.
7 points for that.
So 7 points for my deployment zone.
5 for
points
that.
For this deployment zone.
1 for having more.
So you're on 13.
1 for having more units.
14 for having more than me.
And
15 for having Slay the Warlord. Plus
3, so 18.
18 victory points. And I got Slay the Warlord.
Yeah. 18 to 1. I'm happy with that.
Okay, that'll remind me to be a bit more careful with my Primarch next time.
I mean, he did tank a lot.
He did do all right, but yeah, I forgot that they become not scoring anymore when the Primarch dies.
That was
yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna say Primarch was the Primarch unit of the game for me, or were the autocannons?
The autocannons were good, but the Primarch took out Zardu-Layak,
he killed the water, yeah.
the Galvorback, the Plasma Squad, and the Melta Squad.
Anything else? It was all just that, wasn't it?
No, that was it.
Yeah, it was just that.
And apart from that, he soaked up fire from the Plasma Squad, the Melta Squad, Zardu-Layak, and the guy. You know, he soaked up a hell of a lot of fire.
He did, I think he did pretty well. But I don't know who was best for you actually.
They did pretty good.
Veterans, full stop.
My veterans were great.
Although, having said that, your Galvorback took out the Death Shroud.
They did pretty well with that.
But then the veterans ran in and helped them out.
Yes. I mean, it was nothing was super. I mean, they were good for just making that unit.
Yeah.
That bit of scenery has just been moved because it wasn't there, but I just moved it for line of sight. But yeah, no, the quad mortars down there were very good.
Yeah.
At taking out that squad. The one shot on your Leviathan from the laser destroyers was good.
I think had that been alive, it would have been a very different game.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But, yeah, I really enjoyed that.
That was a fantastic game, actually.
Yeah, it was so.
It was very close.
In fact, we were both convinced after about turn 2 that I was running away with it without any problems at all.
Yeah.
But once you started stripping wounds off Mortarion, it then got to the point.
It was just that round when I took 3 wounds off him in one turn.
And then after that, I just couldn't save.
Yeah.
He never got any wounds back from It Will Not Die.
Nope.
He just kept going and going and going. But yes, very much enjoyed that. Please let us know if we've made any mistakes, if there's anything you'd like to see differently. This is the first time we've played a proper 30k
game with the rules and scenarios. So
forgive us if we've made any mistakes. If you'd like to see any different matchups based on the armies that you've seen before, please chuck us some comments below. If you've got any criticism of the lists, I'm sure there'll be plenty.
Of course there will.
But that'll be fine.
We basically took everything we had.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, everything you had.
Everything I have in my collections, we've put on the table now.
Yeah.
That's painted and ready to go, with the exception of the drop pods for the
word bearers.
For the word bearers, but we'd already discussed that at the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that. We hope you did too. We'll start putting some other 30k battle reports together as well.
Absolutely, I'll bring the Dark Angels.
I'll bring out the Imperial Fists. I know you're working on a secret project as well, Will.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see them before too long as well. And yes, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you in the next one.
Indeed. Thanks very much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.